rise and remove cover. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Item number 2, approval of the January meeting agenda. We have, we're doing the are we doing the January meeting agenda or the January reorganizational agenda? You want to do the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, if we're doing the whole thing, I would make a motion to omit on the regular agenda, under number 9C. That person's not available to be here today. It will be moved to next month. With that change, can I get a motion? By Paul?
I'll second.
You did, second by Peter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Number 3, Sheriff's Report with Commander Benzalaki.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, so Alex did give me the numbers, you can see up there. December of 24, it's 173 total calls for service, and looks like last month about 152. I asked him if there was anything of any real seriousness, and he didn't have a whole lot to add with it. I was taking a peek at some of the things. It doesn't look like a lot of anything criminal. So looks like a pretty standard December, full December report there. So unless you have any questions about that, none about that over there.
Excellent.
I can just start while she's
Okay, we'll
looking.
start
So
while
you guys
she's
have the
looking.
handout.
You have the handout.
So just starting with the total calls for service, we break it down from 23 to 25. So in 23 there was 2,063. You can go to the next slide there. So 2024, 2,220, and then pretty decent reduction in 25, 1,716 total calls for service. So that can vary every year. A lot of this is also self-initiated calls by deputies, whether it's traffic stops or security checks. They can kind of flow with who's working the road. Sometimes if a really aggressive officer goes into investigations, our numbers can kind of fluctuate a little bit. So it's pretty standard across the way for kind of the total calls that you guys are used to seeing in this area. So you can slide over to the next slide there. This is just a breakdown of the serious criminal activity. So 9 assaults, like I explained to you guys last year, the domestic assault, typically that's where these come from. And it's not always arrestable, right? So we didn't arrest 9 people for domestic or assault. If it comes in as a domestic, that's what it's coded as. So I believe there was only 2 actual arrests out of the assault category. So 2 narcotics cases, 8 DUIs, 2 CSCs.
What's CSC?
That's a criminal sexual conduct.
Okay, all right.
Theft is 11 and CDP of 8. And then you can go to the next slide and it'll kind of show you a breakdown of year to year. And for the most part, so the assaults were down from the 2 prior years. We had 0 burglaries last year, which is a good thing. Narcotics cases stayed the same. So really a little bit of uptick in theft, but for the most part, the serious criminal activity kind of went down in most of the categories. Every year, talk a little bit about the retirements. For me, this is kind of a brag for our office. A lot of people come to work in this county and they work their entire career here. So these are some of the really good people that we lost to retirement here over the last year. investigative captain. So a lot of really good people. Deputy Schrader, you guys know her. That was a big hit to our department for all the things that she does community-wise. It actually took 6 or 7 of our deputies and investigative sergeants to handle some of her responsibilities, just to kind of keep up. So she did a lot for us. So that was a big loss to our department as well. Just a little canine update. You guys might have saw the post. Unfortunately, canine Bronco had intestinal flip, and we had to put him down. He was almost 5 years old. So that was a really unfortunate thing for our department and his handler, Deputy Sorensen. So currently we have Deputy Bain, who's handled by Deputy Nick Carlson. He's the only road dog we have right now. We have a narcotics dog in the jail, Canine Deputy Storm. His handler, Stephen Field, just got promoted to jail sergeant, and he's actually, I think he's like almost 9 years old. So he's at the tail end of his career. He's going to be done here shortly, and we are replacing him with a new narcotics canine in the jail. And we'll also replace the canine Bronco probably in September sometime. So.
How long is it, what's the training for a canine before you get them?
Well, they come to us trained obedience, and then there's a pretty it's almost like a 2-3 month ordeal of training with the handler and then the person that we purchase dogs from, actually teach them the apprehension and the tracking piece. But when they come to us at about a year, a little over a year old, they're already kind of obedience trained, so there's the obedience already kind of built in them and the drive, and then they work through that with the next several weeks with the handler.
Okay, thank you.
This is just one of our deputies. We got awarded a top DWI in traffic enforcement. His name is Deputy Mitchell Reasoner. So that was one of the awards that we gave out last year. And then we'll just go through some of the community involvement things we did again this year. Every year we're involved in the Special Olympics torch run. If you go to the next page, so as I was telling you, taking over for Roxanne, I took over the seniors and law enforcement together. I had obviously a lot of help with several individuals. Elk River PD helped us out as well. And we put on this ordeal at Community Center. I want to say that we had almost 75 people. It was a really good event. People enjoyed it, so we're going to probably try to make it a little bit bigger this year. But it was a lot of fun to do, but once again, a lot of extra work. So, but it went off really well. We did a canine presentation and a drone demo and some other things for people to see. And then every year, our community Night to Unite. Numbers were down a little bit for the amount of neighborhoods throughout the county that had events. I think they were down about 5 or 6 from the year prior, so hopefully we can message a little better and try to get that number up this coming year. But it's always a good time getting out into the different neighborhoods. And then every year we do Shop with the Cop. We have officers that go to the Walmart in Princeton and the Walmart in Elk River. And they do that event every year before Christmas. So I just want to talk a little bit about just some cases of interest and some department updates. If you have any questions about these, I'll do my best to answer them. Some of them are still ongoing. Last July, if you guys saw the news, we had a government center shooting where it was on a Saturday. An individual showed up at our government center. He had a shotgun and he shot his way into our building. He shot off rounds in our building and then exited out by our Sally Port where he attempted to assault another person. We were able to take him into custody. So that was a pretty serious event, and as we move through this presentation, we'll talk about a project that kind of got started off of that. We recently, just in the news, had a jail assault on 5 of our correctional officers who were injured in a large-scale fight. Luckily, minor injuries to all of the correctional officers involved. It was 2 groups of individuals in our jail that weren't getting along, and a fight broke out, and they were trying to stop that. So luckily, nobody was seriously hurt, but there was something that went on. And then the kidnapping of the 7-year-old girl that you guys saw. What I can tell you is it was probably one of the most one of the more amazing cases I've worked in my career. I did not think that we would get to that resolution, but ultimately she was brought home safe. And as I was telling people earlier, some of our guys worked almost 36 hours straight on this case. They're still working this case with BCA and the FBI. There's a lot of additional work that has come out, and more things will come out as the case evolves, but they'll probably be working this case for the next month. So, the Benton County conviction, if you guys recall, back in October of '23, some of our drug task force officers were shot while executing a search warrant in Benton County. That case finally came to a resolution this year. After a jury trial, Carl Holmberg was found guilty and sentenced to over 30 years, so he's in prison for that, and they were finally able to kind of close that chapter. And then this was an interesting case too, where we had an armed burglary of a residence. 4 individuals stole a safe out of a residence. There was $100,000 cash in the safe. It was kind of an interesting case that our Drug Task Force, Criminal Investigation Division, and the Anoka Hennepin Task Force, Coon Rapids PD, and BCA all worked together. We were able to almost get back $50,000 of the cash. 3 individuals were arrested. The 4th person, I think, fled to Mexico. I don't know that we've ever gotten him back into custody. It was a pretty serious case with, we were able to get some funds back to the people that have been taken. So this year, a lot of my job has been hiring people for dispatch, the road, TCS. We hired 8 brand new patrol and TCS deputies. At least 4 of them are brand new, green, have never worked the road before, so they're just fresh out of college. We do like to have a little youth, 21-year-olds. They've all made it through their field training. They're all doing excellent. So it's been a good year of hires, but the hiring pool is still not what we'd like to see it. We are hearing there's a little bit of uptick in people getting into law enforcement programs in the state, so that's a good thing. Hopefully the trend will kind of reverse and we'll start to see some more candidates when we're having people apply. And then just a couple notes, our intelligence center, we have 2 criminal analysts. They do workups for surrounding agencies, surrounding counties. Anytime somebody needs help with their investigations, we have multiple search tools and different items we use in our center to help them. They will send us a request, we'll do a workup for them, kind of further the case for the investigator, whoever's working that case. They did 784 workups last year, which is a lot of work for 2 individuals. And then ultimately, I always brag about the Sherburne County Drug Task Force. We're very fortunate to have our own drug task force here. They combat issues that we're dealing with in our community. They worked 100 cases last year. Heroin and fentanyl always is kind of grabbing people's attentions because of the overdoses, but the reality is methamphetamine is still the biggest problem that we have in Sherburne County. They seized almost 3 pounds of methamphetamine over the year. And then, they made marijuana legal, right? So we don't deal with that anymore. That's couldn't be farther from the truth. Some of the cases that they worked throughout the year, we seized over 15 pounds of marijuana, so that's still a thing. So some of the projects we're working on, if any of you know what Code Red is, it's an internal notification system that we use at the county for our employees to call out for different, whether it be emergency response unit or whatever. The company had sold out and they went downhill and they were not being responsive to our issues. We had to completely scrap it and go to the drawing board to find a new thing. We looked at 3 different companies. We landed on HyperReach, it's called. So that is in the engineer's hands as we speak. They were able to transfer data over from Code Red to HyperReach, and we'll also message to the public when it's done. It's a notification system that we can use for bad weather events or anything emergency that you need to be aware of in your neighborhoods. So that will be getting rolled out here shortly, and there will be messaging from our office as to how to opt in if you're not opted in through, if you weren't opted in through Code Red. So that'll be a good thing to get back. And then last year I told you about the dispatch center, the secondary dispatch center that we have. That's up and running fully, no bugs. It's working very well. That bled into the second stage of our project of the remodel of our current dispatch center in Elk River, which has been the same for the last 30 years. We have to do a bunch of upgrades to our consoles. So we will move operations up to Zimmerman. We will finish that. and then hopefully we won't have to look at dispatch for the rest of my career. We finished a body worn camera and a squad camera upgrade. We had well over 10-year-old body worn cameras and squad cameras. They were unsupported, they were failing. We ended up having to upgrade, and so we got that project done. This is one of the newer cameras. I'm getting used to having directly on my chest, so, but that's all completed as well. And then some people have probably heard about the jail plumbing project. I'm sure the commissioner's probably tired of hearing about the plumbing project, but that's going to be kicking off here probably sometime in March, I believe. Long story short, we have plumbing failure in the entire facility that needs to be taken care of. It's in the ceiling, which means they have to go into each individual unit, take the ceiling down, replace it, put the ceiling back up. We have to remove all inmates from those pods. So we're going to be having to house about 100 inmates in Wright County. While we do this, it'll be probably a 9-month ordeal of back and forth. It's going to be a nightmare, but it's something that needed to be done. And then talk about rave a little bit. Oh, actually, I'll start with the tip line first. One of the things that we learned from the kidnapping, we had 1,000 volunteers that showed up. It was complete chaos, and people show up to help, and we appreciate that. But we said we got to figure out a better way to get people to a certain area, as opposed to being on scene. A lot of people were walking around. Kind of made it difficult for us to use canine, difficult for us to use drones. So we're establishing a tip line for information that is non-emergent, because our dispatch center was also getting overwhelmed with calls. So in an event, there will be a tip line that gets put up for anyone with non-emergency information. That will get looked at as the event is ongoing, but then we won't have people calling dispatch. We'll also have a volunteer line where we'll be able to, if people want to help, we'll tell them, go to this location, and then we can kind of efficiently use the people that show up and try to keep them off scene for as long as we can, because realistically it took us about 45 minutes to an hour just to get situated, getting people out of the area. So that's precious time that we lost in dealing with the situation at hand. So we're going to be establishing that. It'll be used in bigger events. We have them on occasion, and so hopefully they'll help clear that up. And then you can switch over to rave. You can go to the next slide. So rave, this came from the government center shooting. A lot of employees at our office were shook by that deal, and obviously we live in a world where these things happen. This is a new safety feature that we are providing all county employees, which basically gives you a push of the button in an active shooter situation. If somebody was to see that going on, they could press that button, it will notify all staff. So any county issued phones, this is already preloaded. They also have the ability to have it on their personal phones. In a situation like that, if it got pressed, there's location data, so we would know where the individual pressed that, and we can respond to that as as law enforcement. We're never going to be 100% safe, but it's an added safety feature for our employees, and it will be used in a way that our dispatch is immediately notified and also able to push out information to people that have the app. All of these are in our safe rooms. If somebody was injured in a safe room, they could send the information to dispatch directly. It's just an efficient way to kind of communicate back and forth in a really bad situation. So this is rolled out right now. They're active. We are rolling that out into the schools as well. These will be in every school in the county, and then we're hoping that when they see the way we're utilizing this, that they will kind of latch onto that and maybe provide that to their staff as well. It's just a really cool tool. The company is telling us that nobody is using it like we are. They're very interested in how this is working, and they'll probably can spin off of it, I would imagine, make some money. That's all that I have. I just want to say, appreciate obviously serving Orrock Township and letting us come in and give this report. If you guys have any questions at all, just go ahead and ask. Or I'll let you get on with your meeting.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
We did hear that Sheriff Brott is retiring,
Yeah.
and that you have launched a campaign to take his position, so good luck on your campaign.
I appreciate that.
Brock's gonna be a loss to us, but I know from working with you that, I think you'll do a great job.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys have a great night.
All right, moving on. Reorganizational meeting begins. We're gonna call to order the reorganizational meeting. Meeting dates and times, the monthly meeting dates and times, currently the fourth Wednesday of each month at the Orrock Town Hall, except for November and December due to the holiday schedule. Can I get a motion that those will be our meeting dates and times? Hi, Brian, can I get a second? Brian, sorry, that was fast.
I'll second.
Dalton, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ratify or change chair, vice chair, and committee members, item number 2. Currently, I am the chair. These are all up for discussion.
I nominate Ann Felber to continue as chair.
I'll second.
Do we have any other nominations?
Seems to me a couple of years ago, you suggested that we move it around annually.
I absolutely did.
Is Dalton or Peter interested?
I'm
Now with the new baby.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, any other nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor of me remaining to be chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Vice chair is currently Paul. Paul, how do you sit with that? Or to Brian's point, is there anybody who wants to rotate into vice chair? How do you feel? What are your thoughts?
I'm willing to stay as vice chair, but if someone wants to do that, that's fine too.
Do we have any interest in rotating into a vice chair position?
Nominate Paul?
I'll second.
Okay, first by Brian, second by Dalton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Representative of the Big Lake Fire Board, non-voting, currently Ketterling and Ellinger. Are we coming up into any contract things at this point? This year
I
we
think
will.
it called it up for a meeting.
Yep.
Is this the third year?
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get a little busier on that. Are you still willing to stay where you're at with that?
I can, but during the summer I can't be there on Tuesdays. And I think that's when their meeting is. So if their contract's coming up now through April, I could do it.
I suggest we keep the two.
Okay.
And I can communicate.
I was gonna say, worst case is I can read it ahead of time and we can talk before the meeting.
All right, so, all those in favor, do we need a motion for that? I make a motion to keep the representatives Dalton and Ellinger.
I'll second.
Second by Peter, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Representative Zimmerman Fire Board, non-voting. We don't have any. Is our contract coming up with them as well? I don't think it is. So we'll keep it the way it is. If someone wants to go to the meeting, be my guest. Representative to the Mississippi River St. Cloud 1 Watershed 1 Plan. We do not have a representative to that. Do we need one? Not at this time. We will keep it the way it is. Finance and Agreements Committee, currently Clerk Treasurer Felber, Ellinger, alternate Adams. I am willing to stay on that, however, we have a wealth of knowledge right here. And I really would rather you have your eyes on that. And again, those meetings are scheduled around our availability.
Correct.
So if you are willing, obviously, I would step back and still attend as a viewer, and any of us can attend to those meetings because we end up with people there. But if you're willing to step in, Dalton, I would much rather you have your eyes on our money.
I think if others are good with that.
Okay, so I would motion that we add Dalton to the Finance Agreements Committee as a member in my place. And that I will still obviously be part of being at the meeting, but I mean, you would be the official.
Mhm.
Is there any disagreement? I make that motion?
I'll second it.
Second by, okay,
Do you want to still stay as an alternate?
Fine.
Okay, keep the same.
okay, except we'll switch. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Who seconded? Thank you.
Road Committee, currently Adams, Owen, and Kruger. I, again, don't do much work on the roads. Would you rather be the alternate, Dalton?
I can be the alternate if you want, but I was gonna say, I think Peter's done a great job as authority, and I know Brian's got a ton of experience too, so I'd prefer to keep those two as the main.
Oh, absolutely, we're keeping that. We're
Yeah.
discussing the alternate.
Yep.
That's all.
But that's what I'm saying, I'm good to switch into that, but as long as those two are the main,
Okay.
unless Paul wants the alternate. Nope.
I mean, I don't
I'm
mind
good.
I don't mind being the alternate, quite honestly, I never got called. So,
Yeah.
It's fine with me to be there, but if we wanna make it legit, that
That's
you are
fine.
the person, we would do Dalton.
I'm good.
All right, I make a motion that we keep the road committee as it is with the one change of putting Dalton in as the alternate.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Dalton, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policy committee, Owens, Owen, and Ketterling. It's any other members that attends is considered an ad hoc member. Any changes?
I don't think we met last year once, did we?
No.
Okay, so I make a motion that we keep it the way it is.
Second.
Dalton, did you have discussion on that?
Nope.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Road authority is currently Peter. I make a motion that we keep Peter as the road authority.
Support.
Support by Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion, opposed? Motion carries. Planning and zoning, currently Ketterling, primary, Owen is the alternate, 3-year term, beginning January 2025, so, it's a 3-year term. We're gonna just, I don't think we need a motion on that, it was an actual 3-year term, okay? Ordinance committee, currently no ordinance committee. At this point, I don't think
We said we'd form one if something
if
popped
nothing
up.
popped up, so we will maintain nothing. Okay. Wage reimbursement and fee schedule, we need to ratify the mileage reimbursement at the current federal rate. Federal rate as of 1/1/26 is 72.5 cents per mile for business, and it's up 2.5 cents from last year.
Move to approve 72.5.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Compensation reimbursements, currently $150 a month. Road authority and chair are $175. And then again, all the bullet points here for the current payments and various things. I do want to discuss about the road authority though. There is a lot of work going into that, and I understand there has been some payment requests and some have not. But I think that, again, we go back to what does it really cost to be that person? And I think if you submit the hours is all I'm gonna say. Because for budgeting purposes, we never know who the next one will be. So I just wanted to make that comment. You do a lot of work and you do it free for us. But I think we need to, if you want, just document the hours. We need to know what this is costing us.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I don't know what you're asking.
I'm asking him to start just documenting the hours, if he's not gonna ask us to pay for them, to at least document them, so that we can have a, in case somebody ever was to take his position again and did start asking for those hours. All right,
So you need the motion. Or you do it
looking at all the bullet points, I'm doing the motion under B, compensation reimbursements, including all the bullet points. Can I get a motion to?
Now, let's see, you got training, $20, treasurer,
35, deputy clerk 25, election judges 22 and 25. Mileage will be at the federal rate that we just did the we ratified. And everything else, like other meetings, if you need lodging, has to be pre-approved.
What's the county paying for gopher bombing? $2, $3?
One,
Is it just one?
$1.
Really? All right.
Any changes to any of the bullet points?
I'm not proposing a change at this time, but we always seem to, when we get close to the election time, start looking to see if we're in the ballpark with our election judges and that, because we don't want to be caught shorthanded because we're not in the same basic areas that everybody. I'm not saying they have to be the top, but they don't have to be the bottom either. So I just think we need to monitor that.
Follow up on that, is it 22 an hour or 22 for the event?
So,
22 an hour.
Okay.
22 and 25.
And that includes the training too, so when they do the training to become election judge, it's the 2-hour training.
Okay.
They submit for that as well, which is done ahead of time, so. All right,
I'll move the compensation reimbursement as presented.
I'll second.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Fee schedule. This is what it's been. Again, looking at all the bullet points, access, escrow fee, overweight permit, da-da-da-da. Anybody have any questions or want to discuss any of those fees?
Yeah, Shelley, do you see any reason to change any of these?
No, I think it's working fine. Nobody's complained or anything.
move to approve
You
the
started to,
first
Roy,
item.
you had a hand
I was
raised.
just gonna ask, are we doing okay anyway?
For 3,000?
No, the $100 right away excavation permit.
Do you think it should be more?
I'm asking you. I wasn't sure,
Let
I
it-
mean, I just bill like a half hour for each one, so I think it's pretty close, but I just wanted to be sure you guys weren't losing money.
It doesn't take that much time to do it.
Okay, we're good then.
And your fee is covered by that $100?
Typically,
Barely,
yeah. Well, that's what I was asking.
yeah.
And is your fee going to change over the next year?
Nothing,
Okay, we're just asking.
No, I mean,
Because then
so
we would-
typically
We just
I've
gave
done
them an increase a couple months.
I know, but you know, things happen.
roughly everything, all those are like, I'm spending about a half hour on each one on average. If they spit out, 2 of them and you do 2 of them back to back, maybe you get 2 of them for half hours, like roughly.
Okay. All right.
So I was just checking to make sure.
And you've recently bought mounting hardwares and signs. Are we still in the ballpark on the signs and mounting hardware that we've had to buy? On the $45 and the $10 fees?
Oh, yeah, we're fine.
We're fine? Okay.
What about the swing away mailboxes?
I think we sold one.
You sold one, okay.
All right.
Not a big ticket item. All right, I move the fee schedule as presented.
Sorry.
You already did. You can
Oh, I'll
second
second it then. All right.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Resolution authorizing contracts with supervisors. We'll have to sit and sign all those. Yep,
We have to vote on them individually.
right.
You did.
So, and you will have to abstain from your own. So when your name is called, please abstain from your own. So,
A point of history again, these are, go back a number of years when this board did all the snow plowing, mowing, tree trimming, sign replacement. That's the intent. So I've been on the board for around 10, 12 years. I think nobody's ever applied for it. Because now we have Darrell doing this kind of work, so.
right.
That was the initial reason for these resolutions.
Any change in the wording of the contracts?
No.
I'll make the motion to approve.
But we have to do them one by
I know.
one. Okay.
I make the
I
motion.
was just gonna say, I think we should keep them just for emergency purposes. I don't think get rid of this.
Okay. All right, so I'll go through them one by one. Paul's going to make the motion. So I'm looking for a motion for the resolution for Brian Adams.
I mean,
Second,
I'll second.
Dalton, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Brian abstains, 4-4. Same motion, resolution for Paul Ellinger.
So moved.
Brian makes the motion,
I'll second.
Peter second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Same.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution for Ann Felber.
So moved.
Brian and Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain, Ann Felber. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution for Dalton Ketterling.
Make the motion.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution for Peter Owen.
I'll move to approve.
Dalton.
Support.
Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Other township items, number 5. And I will sign all of those after right now. Official posting location right now is currently outdoor notice board and inside the entryway. Our publication is the Patriot. And I'm just going over them quick and we'll just run through the motions. Depository is Sherburne State Bank. Legal counsel is currently Curry and Rupp. You can see the authorize the treasurer to make electronic fund transfers, para contributions payable holdings, tax deposits, and town banking institutions. Authorized chair and vice chair, clerk and treasurer are signers on the bank. Authorized chair and vice chair, clerk and treasurer, authorized signers and accessors to the town bank safe deposit box. And then review of recurring contracts. All right, so we're gonna do all but H. I'm gonna go through A.
A through D?
I'm gonna go A through.
I moved A through D.
Perfect.
Hold on, I have to abstain from C. I work for a bank. So if we do,
Okay, let's do A through B.
A through B or D?
But we're gonna do B because he has to abstain to one of them.
Oh,
or if you do A, B, and D, you can do that too.
We'll do A, B, and D.
A, B, and D, all right? I so move.
Brian, okay.
I'll second.
Dalton second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion for C.
So move.
Brian,
Support.
Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna do, one for E. All right, authorize treasurer to make electronic funds. I make the motion. I
I'll
guess
second.
second by Peter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then F and G together.
Move to approve.
Dalton,
I'll
Support.
Peter, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. H, review of recurring contracts. Everybody have a chance to look at those?
There's no motion required.
We're just gonna do a review. Is there any, the list of recurring, that's the green page, the green one on your thing here, where we have everything from, fire protection agreement, fire service contract, cleaning contracts, the one that was in our board packet. Any questions or any discussion about reviewing any of those concerns? No? Okay. Last call for reorganizational meeting business. Last call. I close the reorganizational meeting and I reopen the regular meeting. All right. We're going to approve the consent agenda. I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
All right, Peter, can I get a second?
Can we pull out B, regular
Um,
payroll?
Okay, so you're, all right, so you do want to pull out item B,
B.
B payroll, okay. Would you like to amend your motion to approve the consent agenda with item B being removed?
Yes.
All right, the motion has been redone. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
All right, second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, so item B on the consent agenda. Go ahead, Brian.
I think it was a quick question about paying the hourly rate for doing some office work.
Okay, what is your question?
Well, is that appropriate? I think that should be in the, whatever, $150 a month. Typically, the hourly rate is for, again, like I've said previously, field work such as tree trimming, mowing, those kinds of activities.
Can you pull up what he's talking about? I gotta pull up the other one here. I don't have that right in front of me. Let me pull up. I have, second screen would be helpful. You got it here? Okay.
I can't pull up mine either.
Okay, that's the little I. Where's the consent agenda? The one that was sent to us by, our treasurer, not Shelley. It would have been sent, it was sent, by,
By Kelly.
there it is,
Kelly and the-
Sunday. That's the treasurer's report. Yeah. That was in the payroll one, yeah, it was under the payroll one. But we have like 7 attachments on that email that she sent us. Okay. So I think that if we are looking at something of that nature, that the time spent goes over the, that's a road authority thing. That is not a, if it goes over the extra $25, then yeah, you should be paid for that.
Again, I think we're opening up a slippery slope because then anybody can, if they're doing office work or whatnot, and they're putting a little extra time, they can apply for it, and I'm not sure that's appropriate. I think you suggested the road authority keep track of their extra hours for this year and see really what it amounts to, and we can address it next year. But historically, those dollars have been spent for, again, field labor work, as far as tree trimming, snow plowing, that kind of stuff.
Well, if you're
Not for
digging
office
around,
work.
if you're digging through
Signs.
signs in there, that's labor.
Was he digging signs, or was he, generally that's the, is he actually installing the signs, or is he just,
No, I meant digging through our piles,
Oh,
checking
digging
what we have,
through the-
going through all that.
he's not actually installing the signs?
No, I don't think he needs to be installing the signs to be doing the work.
Peter, how many hours did you claim on going to on-site things throughout the year?
No.
So I feel like none was claimed for that when it probably should or could be. And we're claiming it 1 here for an official thing of getting inventory. I'm fine with doing this.
I am too.
Well, we need some direction for Kelly in the future, that's why it was brought up, so I think.
I think that I am tired of us not trusting ourselves to determine if we're doing work for the township or we're doing stuff that makes our job easier. So those are 2 different things.
Well, we need to clarify that for the treasurer then, so she knows.
I think if we're looking at all of the, we get all the pay stubs, it did not flag for me. Because I had,
She flagged it in her memo.
I understand that, but when I look at it, it did not flag for me.
Oh, it flagged for me. That's why
And I
I'm
am
that's why I'm
tired,
bringing it up.
I am completely tired of other people judging what you think is work. And, I mean, I know for a fact, we have things coming up on this agenda that I have spent hours and hours and hours on. Whether it was phone calls, emails, things, I mean, it is
Welcome to
definitely,
being chair. I mean,
I
that goes
understand
with,
that.
that goes with position.
I understand that. But at the same time, there comes a point where it's more than what it's worth. And I think if someone's gonna come up and ask us, for like, hey, you know, I'm doing all the inventory, I'm doing this, I'm sitting here, we need to trust ourselves as adults and as good custodians of the taxpayer dollars to believe that. Every one of us can look at every one of those payroll things and challenge it.
Then make it clear to our treasurer so she knows. That's what I'm asking.
I'm not sure the true road authority requirements, what that is. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I'm just asking, is this above and beyond, or is this included in there? I'm not sure on with what is and what isn't. That's why I'm asking it, because if that's the case, yes, he probably put in a lot more hours, because it sounds like he does that, but I'm trying to figure out what that is so that I don't have these going forward and having to be questioned.
Well, I think
I'm just trying to figure out what the extra duties and stuff.
I
you know,
think that
would
if
be.
we're gonna get into all of us debating whether his work was worth $40, then, you know, just put all the payroll stubs, put the payroll things on there. We all look at them on the consent agenda. If we wanna question what somebody is claiming, we will question it. If not, it will pass on the consent agenda.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up. Historically, that has not happened. That has not been paid. If you want to change it, that's fine.
Well, we
But
have it
I'm
in there
saying-
for $20 for work. I see it as work.
Fine, but historically, that's not how it's been received. If you want to change it, we have that opportunity.
I
That's
think
why I'm bringing it up.
there's no question. Things have changed in the last 3 to 4 years as far as our wages, our monthly wages, are more than double. And the purpose of, and it's not huge, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying, I didn't get on this board to get into doing a lot of work that a lot of other people have done. I mean, this person knew what road authority was like. Pete knows what it's like. You know as chair. But I also think that there's a spot there called community service. And that's a fine line in how to determine what that's going to be or should be. And to put the treasurer to be making that decision, I don't think is a good idea.
No, I don't think she should be making that decision, but everybody can put on their pay sheets what they think their work was, and we can look at them each time. And if we approve them, they'll go through on the consent agenda. If not, they'll be pulled out by individuals. Because I don't think she should be making that decision. We should be making that decision. And what I can tell you, quite honestly, our pay may have doubled for you. I lost money when we went to 175. Because under our old pay scale, where we got paid to go to meetings, where we got paid to go to events, when we got paid to go to whatever, I made more money that way. So it already is a community service for me when we agreed to even at the 150 or the 175, I'm making less now as chair than I did as a sitting supervisor. So, no, that welcome to being chair is, no, that's not it. It's less money than I was doing before as a supervisor because, quite honestly, this board is cheap. So we make less, I mean, people sitting at that SCAT meeting were getting $125 to sit there from their townships. Our people get nothing. So I'm tired of nitpicking for $40 here and there. I make a motion to approve the claim for Peter.
I don't think it was nitpicking.
I do. It's always nitpicking, for 20 here, 40 there. When I claimed for a meeting to go to a MAT meeting, I got called on the carpet for it. It didn't count. You know, so, I mean, I'm done. I make a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, again, my point is that we need to come to agreement. If this is how we want to proceed, that's fine. But we need to make that decision and convey it to our treasurer so she
That will-
knows.
Okay, that will be in a second motion. Let's take care of the consent agenda motion first. I have a first and a second.
Repeat the motion.
I make a motion that we approve Peter's claim for $40 for work going through the inventory of all our signs. Seconded by Dalton. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I
Right, motion carries. Now, for the further discussion about this, I think it should have been in the reorg piece of this. And if, that's where that discussion should have been held, under the currently supervisor work performed for the township, $20 an hour. It's broad, agreed. So, we've already passed that point of the reorg, it's still there the way it is, but I think that if we want to challenge each one, I think we need to treat each other like professionals and adults, and we can put in what we think we are doing as work. She doesn't need, our treasurer does not need to make those decisions. It will come up every month for us to look at each of our payrolls, and if you don't like something that's on it, pull it out of the consent agenda. So I make the motion that we do not have the treasurer make determinations on the payroll, that supervisors can pull at the consent agenda if they don't
Well,
like it.
they can do that anyway, so there's no reason for that motion.
But I guess what I would say then is that the treasurer does not need to flag anything anymore. She does not need to review them.
That's her job. That's her job, is to look at the invoices
And
and
he
make sure
put
they're
one
correct.
on there as supervisor work $20, according to this.
I do think it's Kelly's job to review, make sure
Yeah.
it's the correct wage.
Well, that part, yes,
Yeah.
but
And
determining
I don't-
whether or not it's supervisor work, she does not need to review.
Well, I'm just wanting to make sure we're following rules and that it is, truly being noted and approved for it. That's all, I'm just,
If a
I'm
supervisor
learning through
codes
this
it,
process
if a
myself, too.
supervisor codes it as supervisor work, the only person to be questioning that to is the person who wrote it. Why are they seeing it as supervisor work? They might not need to explain, they may need to explain, which he did. But I don't think that our thing here, where we just approved supervisor work performed for township, currently $20 hour, there was no discussion there about defining what that is. We have historical, it was this, historical, it was that. But we have no discussion what it is. So if he's gonna code it supervisor work, he's gonna code it that way. And then if someone in the consent agenda wants to pull it and ask a question, why is that supervisor work, we can vote on it, whether or not we thought it was supervisor work. I don't think putting that burden upon our treasurer is the right thing to do. I agree with you, Kelly, 100%.
I do think, I appreciate that Kelly's looking at it and flagging it. I think it should come to us and just saying, hey, this one, I'm wondering if this is the correct thing. Call it out, but still, it is still approved, it's still going through, it's for us. I'm okay with her calling it out and stuff
She's
like
doing her
that.
job by calling it out. It's still up to this board to approve it.
Now, if we're gonna sit there and nitpick at every single one, that's where I have a problem, but
But that's what we do.
sure,
Anytime anybody
sure.
puts anything extra on there.
This has never been brought up before. This is the first time
No,
it's never been brought up since
Two of
I've been
mine.
on the board.
two of mine have been brought up.
Not with $20 an hour that I recall.
Yes, yes. There was
This year?
one this year and one the previous year. When I went to a meeting with the DNR, and then that got called out, told I couldn't get paid for that. And then, even though I was invited by the DNR specifically. And then one this year where I put There was one this year, and I can't remember, it was a couple months ago.
Either way,
I had something on there. But anyway, either way, all of mine are called out. With the call, well, that's just being the chair. Oh, it was meetings that I was having with Data Success and Shelley, extra meetings that I was having, that's what those were.
Mhm.
Remember those? I was
I
having.
do.
Yeah.
I
and
remember
got called
there was
out.
one last year for sure.
Yep,
I appreciate Kelly looking through, and if something seems not quite right, is bring it to our attention. I don't think Shelley needs, or excuse me, Kelly, sorry, needs to approve or deny those, that's for us. But if there's something that doesn't seem right or something like that,
That's what
all
she
I'm
did. That's
asking
exactly what she
Mhm.
did.
we
is for
understand,
that today,
Yeah.
is just making sure
Hmm?
that that part of it was okay.
but
with
we're
the
not,
extra
but we're not gonna
supervisor.
call, yeah, but we're not, what he's asking for was for definitions of what is supervisor work. And I'm saying we're not going to define that here.
Historic, I'm just saying from a historical perspective, this is what it is. If we're gonna change it, then we'll change it.
but we don't have a definition written down, so
So that's the reason why I was
Yeah.
just wanting to make sure and flag that this was added, please take a look. I'm just wanting your approval for that, and if you're approving, then that's fine. I just wanna know before I print the check, before I have to void a check, if it's not approved. Those kind of extra things is what I'm actually just looking for, and it's not my
But
wanting
how
to do it.
does-
I'm just trying to make sure you're aware that this was added on here, is this approved? That's all I'm asking for.
And I'm very frustrated with this because quite honestly, that assumes I don't read. That I don't look at all this stuff. I don't need it to be flagged for me. I read every single thing that comes to me. I can see everybody's stuff. I know exactly who's getting paid, how much, and for what. And I had no issue.
Can we move on?
No, she wanted to continue, so here's the thing, I'm saying that we don't necessarily, that's assuming I don't read. So, here's the thing,
I'm not
if someone puts, I don't think it's an anomaly for someone to put work on their time chart, is my point. I don't think that's an anomaly. So, we haven't defined anything, motion approved. Review or approve of treasurer's reports, routine claims.
Be open for
Oh, I forgot
We
the-
proved that already.
Actually,
Open forum.
open forum. Open forum, do we have anybody to speak on open forum? Please stand up, your name, address.
Greg Felber, 25409, 189th Street, Big Lick. Just trying to pull up here. I would have had a much longer presentation, but I didn't know that this particular issue, it's actually an issue that's coming up later in the agenda on the vet clinic. I didn't see that on the website, otherwise, but I'll cover my 3 minutes now, or I could wait till it comes up on the agenda if you want me to talk then. Or just cover now?
Open forum, cover now.
Okay. All right, so, I would prefer that the board doesn't give positive recommendations to this at this point, or positive comments. There isn't anything on that I'm aware of, I haven't seen the actual full proposal, but there isn't anything on that proposal that I'm aware of that limits this business if spaces more than 5 acres. In those jurisdictions within Minnesota that I've thus been able to locate, the only ones that allow it in a general rural property, an equine or a large animal veterinary clinic, is on a 10-acre lot. The ones in existence that I know of within a 70-mile radius of this location are the University of Minnesota, which is obviously a commercial location, and Anoka Equine, which operates in a commercial area with sewer and water on 8.1 acres.
Greg, what's the issue?
No, I'm gonna, these are things I don't
This
think
is
that are
open
in,
forum. so
are
let's
in
just-
this
This is open forum, he has his 3 minutes. Let's talk.
resolution that you're gonna be giving comments on. I'm sorry. This is a kind of a thing where the county has repeatedly had trouble with business on 5 acres that have a lot of traffic coming and going. Those are the ones that keep coming back to the planning commission, those are the ones that keep coming back to the board. This particular business is gonna have 8 to 10 trucks a day, every day, if you're taking appointments, gonna be coming from that property. Everything from pickups with 2-horse trailers to literally small semis with 35, 40-foot trailers on the sides of them. You're gonna have animals out there all day. You know, you need to have separation of animals. The National Vets Association recommends 35 feet between any infected animals or potentially affected animals and other animals. There was an EHV1 outbreak in Texas this year that literally killed several million-dollar animals and caused the shutdown of a number of PRCA events. This originally occurred out of a Rodeo Cowboys Association related barrel race. These are some of the most stringently vetted and cared for animals in the world. So when you do have that, you need to have that separation. So wherever this business is authorized, they're going to have separation between the animals that are there, or they're definitely going to have at least 35, if not 50 feet of infectious separation between them and any adjoining property. I don't believe you have any setbacks in that particular thing you're trying to consider. The EHV1 is alpha herpes virus, which is a very deadly disease for animals. You need to have something for removal of medical waste requirements. You know, they have to have that in there because what you're having is literally pounds of medical waste. Cotton balls, bandages, these kind of things can be produced every day. If you've ever sat and done a standing...
Your time is,
That was 3 minutes?
that was 3
Yeah.
minutes, I'm sorry.
That's all I have.
I had it on a timer right here.
He was addressing AD, I believe,
Yeah.
an agenda?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
All right, anybody else in open forum? Anybody else? All right, moving on. Approval of meeting minutes, December monthly meeting.
Move is presented.
Paul, I got a second?
Second.
Second by Dalton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, I'm gonna get back to our call for an audit meeting. I'm trying to get back to the agenda packet here. I know, it fades out on you if you don't keep it up here. There it is. I'm sorry, this thing fades out here when you don't do it. Okay.
8A?
Yeah, I believe we're on 8A. Do you have that paperwork?
It's up there.
Okay. So would someone like to make that call? I make a motion that we call for the Board of Audit meeting to be at our February regular meeting.
Support.
Paul, that's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Schlenner-Wenner audit engagement letter. Has everybody seen this?
Yeah, I'm getting a little concerned.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, this is, not that with their work, but this is, what I would say is another $2,000 increase. So I think if I look back, if I remember correctly, it's close to $2,000 in the last 2, if not 3 years.
2001,
If you'll recall in our MAT meetings, they're having trouble in townships even finding auditors to do their work.
I
So
understand that.
you're right, this is going up, but I don't think we have a choice. If if you ask for a quote, you're probably not going to get one. That's just the reality of the county business in today.
That even came up at the SCAT meeting too. It was brought up by the MAT leadership.
Yeah.
Told us that at both places. You're right, that is something that was said.
That they won't, no one will submit a bid, you're saying?
A lot of them won't, yeah.
They're one of the only ones that'll,
Yeah.
which, they almost do all, I think they do every single township I work with.
Talk about a monopoly.
I move approval.
Okay, we got an approval by Brian, can I get a second? All right, second by Peter, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on. So, we've had some developments with the DNR and Ann Lake. So, at our last meeting, we had some discussions about, I had had a conversation with our attorney about what our various options were. I had reached out to the DNR, talked with them about specifically wanting to find out about maintenance and about our 1999 contract that we had, and what happens if we don't maintain it. Are they really gonna come and take the little slabs away? You know, that kind of stuff. And it turns out, no, they're not. Shocker. Shocker. And in talking with Tim Edgerton from the DNR, basically said that, you know, whatever maintenance, we define what maintenance is. Maintenance is whatever we define it to be. So whether we mow, whether we don't mow, the maintenance is kind of our decisions. And then I had thrown out there if they were interested in obtaining our property. He said he called me back in January. He called me back January 12th and said they are interested in taking our property and maintaining it. So I then called Mark Schneider over at Sherburne County. And he said that there doesn't appear to be any issue with that. It could be done on a quit claim deed because we're going from public to public. It was dedicated to the public. The DNR is a public organization, and it would still be with the public. Then I had multiple conversations, well, 2 conversations with our lawyer regarding this. He indicated that after I had one conversation, and then he said, well, let me look at all your stuff again with this in view. Came back and said, yeah, we can do it by a quitclaim deed. Pretty simple. That it would take minimal work to get that done. And that we would need to do a resolution, which he would prepare for us should the board vote to move forward with turning over this land to the DNR. Gets us out of the park business.
Does this have to go to our annual meeting?
Does not.
It does not.
Does not. We do not have to do it to go to an annual meeting.
This is going from government to government.
Government to government, and it's ours to do with, as long as we're keeping it dedicated to the public.
Is there a way we can carve out the shed, either so the Lake Association can use it? I mean, they paid for it. It's obviously it's on our property and it complicates things, but obviously we don't have any use for it, they do. Is there a way, I would encourage us to find a way to carve out the use or segregate the property
We would have to.
so the shed stays with us.
Well, the problem with that is it is then not public use, it's private use.
But I think Brian's saying replat it, so it's 2 plats.
Right, but that land is still, the land that the building sits on
It's
right
still
now is
Orrock.
still public, it has to be used for public use. We can't sell it, we can't,
We don't want to sell it, we just want
We
to
can't-
somehow carve it out so they can use it.
but we can't give it to a private entity.
We're not going to give it to them, we're just allowing them to use it in our property. It hasn't changed for the last 20, 25 years.
Who maintains now the dock and the aerator? Is that still you guys if the DNR were to take it over?
Probably,
The DNR,
Would you guys be
But-
donating the dock
No.
and or aerator to DNR? in this?
If that's what happened, we pull everything out.
Okay, so
So they
DNR would
would-
bring in their own dock then.
yes.
Would you guys still be using the aerator? Because I think that does matter, because that's where they're storing the aerator too. what Brian's,
They've got tables and barbecue and all
Yeah.
that other kind of stuff.
which agreed, but just for the lake functional use, if they're gonna maintain the aerator still, that's the most logical place to store it too. And if the DNR is not gonna take that on, now we have the whole issue with the aerator. So, again, don't know how we do this. Don't know if we can keep it the same as if it's, we're letting them use the public property. But I do agree with what Brian's saying, like, carve that piece out. Now, I don't know how that's gonna work, and I don't know if there's money involved with that in terms of
Absolutely.
county plating. Now we have to take that to annual meeting.
No, would we, because we're gonna retain it.
But it's still gonna be some kind, there's gotta be some kind of filing fee.
That's the question.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we still own that property where the shed sits, we're just authorizing them to use it.
Sure, but I'm saying just the act of splitting it, there's gotta be some kind of filing fee. That would
Yeah,
have
there'll
to,
be some filing.
that would have to
fee.
go to annual
Yeah.
meeting, wouldn't it?
No.
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
But she's saying we can't split the property.
I'm not, well, if, what are we, we're gonna maintain that, we're gonna maintain just that section with the building on it?
I don't know, I mean, that's the question to ask. The issue is going to be, can we carve it out somehow? That's,
Mhm.
whether we,
Can and do we want to,
can
two
we,
things.
yes, can we, do we want to? I think it's the best interest for the Lake Association. But we don't have any use for the building.
Mhm.
DNR is going to use it.
It's just a liability for us to take it
Yeah.
over.
You guys are likely gonna wanna plat this anyways, because your road runs through that property. So you wouldn't wanna turn that entire property over to the DNR.
Oh, that's right, our road does run through the north section of the parking lot.
So you're not gonna want to I mean, that can obviously be negotiated with the DNR to some extent, but you're gonna want some level of an easement or ownership of that. You might be looking at.
Is that two birds, one stone then, what Brian's saying? They get to maintain the use of the shed and we maintain the easement if we do that, if we split that one section off. Is that the same section, Kevin?
I mean, you can, if you're already splitting it, if you split it into
But where you're talking is up by the shed, on that portion, in that corner.
kinda, yeah, I mean, you could easily include the shed in that.
So it's not like it's gonna be having to split it 3 times or something, it can all be, okay.
You could include that all, like, you could include the shed up over the road on that north side. DNR takes the rest of it, and that wetlands. And cover it.
Yeah.
If it came down to losing the shed, we would probably be able to agree that we would maintain the shed as well as the lawn around the shed. We're not gonna, I mean, obviously the DNR is gonna have more responsibility for the landing part of it.
But if we do that, you're probably gonna want something in our agreement that says you're gonna indemnify and hold us harmless if something
It
happens.
comes back to the insurance issues and it comes back to
Yeah.
all of that,
We have
yeah.
insurance on it.
But on the liability? Because that seemed to be what the pushing point was.
I'm not
here,
against
was
this, but I just want, the storage I understand, but you also said you have another place. It's not as convenient that you could store this stuff.
We could,
So then it comes back to, it's convenient to have that there for your gatherings and your meetings and that. And I guess I'm just thinking out loud, what's wrong with this building to have your meetings and your gatherings? Other community groups do the same.
it's an option.
Again, I'm looking at, we don't know what the cost is to replat or redo, what that would be.
So that's easy enough to determine. You can go down and talk to Schneider, he can give us that in a hurry. That's not,
Yeah.
And then, so then if it comes back to the DNR wants that building,
well, and
or
then,
wants
That might
it,
be a different story.
well, right now they do want it.
Do they want?
Mhm.
Okay.
They want the building.
do
So,
they say that, or they just kinda, I mean,
they
we're-
looked at what was, they looked at Beacon and they looked at what was on the property.
And if we're back to,
And they're
Having
also
that
taking on,
parcel-
they're also taking on the
The outhouse.
known outhouse problem. We don't have to fix it before they take it. They're taking that on too. So we start splitting things up. I'm not saying we should or we shouldn't. I am telling you the discussion.
DNR's interested, we don't know anything about the boat ramp, they're gonna buy it, or if they're gonna bring their own in, the dock, rather.
The
rolling dock.
the conversations that I had with the DNR, and again, this was
Preliminary.
preliminary,
Yeah.
was, and the initial one in December was, oh, let me think about it, let me go back to my people, right? But yeah, we don't know, we don't do that very often, it's not one of our things, blah, blah, blah. January 12th, boom, yep, he called me, very, very interested, you know we have campground there, I'm like, yeah, we do know we have campground there. And that would now be an amenity for that campground. It's a selling point to get visitors for the campground. Which, he said, you know, at any time, with you guys maintaining it, you can close it anytime you want. If the DNR owns it, they'll maintain it open all the time. If not, and I said, I said, our last meeting, we have no intention of closing anything. We came upon that at our last meeting and voted, and we're gonna keep it open. Okay, well, that's good to hear, he said. But, again, they are, and the reason they're interested is it connects their property
To their campground.
to their
Yeah,
campground.
no, that's fine. I think the real big issue is, if we can get around it, is the building. If we can carve it out, fine, if we can't, life goes on, but I think at least we gotta take a look at it.
But Brian, if we carve it out, we're back to the original problem that this group has. Who's gonna maintain it? Who's gonna mow it? Who's gonna get rid of the garbage? Who's gonna pay for the electricity? Who's gonna pay for the insurance? Those are the original things that were presented to us, all legit, totally understand it. I don't see the township hiring an employee separate to go and
I
maintain
don't
it.
think we're looking at that either, my vision is we carve out the building for them, if we can. He just indicated they would mow the lawn and maintain the building.
So then we're back to the original lease
Well, now,
agreement.
well,
Back, exactly back, except for the land.
I think one of the big things was the driveway, the gravel and everything was maintained, that correct? Was that one of the big issues
That
of
was
the
part of
original?
it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's gonna be DNR now, Paul. They're taking that on,
And the garbage would be DNR.
exactly.
But we've
No,
already
they won't-
done,
they won't do
we've
garbage.
spread
Wow.
gravel.
They don't do garbage.
But if
They'll
someone,
get the phone calls. when
I was
the
gonna say, if
garbage
someone
piles up.
leaves a couch there, it's now DNR property.
We have put gravel down there.
Sure, but
I
it will
can
no longer
remember
be us. If we give it over to the DNR, let's say we do split it out, they have to mow around that building, and they have to maintain the building if there's,
I'm
needs to be painted or anything
maintaining,
else.
we've done that before. We've took care of the, prior to this, we've maintained, as far as gravel, the landing. The question I still have is the other things that brought them here. The insurance, the electricity, the garbage.
What, is
the
there
electricity.
electricity in the building?
Those were the, pardon?
Is there electricity in the building?
Yes.
no, just.
Well, it's outside in that light. It was like $5,000 a year, if I remember, just off the top of my head.
It was like $11 or $1,200 a year. 5,000 a year was for 5,000.
For us to be
fixing
able,
them.
for us to be able to maintain it. I'm just saying, that's what you came to us originally, correct?
We
Was
came-
to take care of the maintaining.
I think $1,200 a year.
It was $1,200 for these maintenance items or splitting up those maintenance items however we could.
And
That was our initial proposal to you folks.
And I'm just saying, now you're saying you can take care of the maintenance, so why would we wanna get rid of the landing? Why don't we just go and we will take care of the gravel like we've been doing?
But isn't that the most expensive part of it, is the gravel?
I don't know.
With all due respect, you've done gravel once.
Yeah, we've done it once.
All right, so that's been within my time here.
And in all honesty, if that stormwater runoff issues in that area are going to be addressed in the next couple of years, there won't be a maintenance issue. The biggest problem for maintaining is all the water that comes down those two hills. Once that's fixed, that won't be an issue.
And the building wasn't on the original proposal, we kept that as maintaining.
Yeah, we
wasn't-
kept the building and maintaining the
It
building.
wasn't in the cost that was proposed for splitting, we kept that.
If electricity's a huge hiccup, we don't need electricity.
Well, it was the mowing. You guys didn't wanna mow anymore, you wanted us to take care of the mowing.
And the garbage.
Garbage and the things. And so that's where much of the cost
Yep.
would come from, would be that. And if we turned it over, then the DNR would be responsible for it.
Well, they wouldn't mow it, but yeah.
Yeah, they will, they may not get the maintenance that they're getting now with DNR.
They might not,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we should be paying for that.
Well, I agree. But I think it wouldn't hurt to go back to DNR and say, is it reasonable to carve out the building? If they say yes or no, then we move on. If they really want the building, then we want this thing to go through.
Yeah,
I asked them what their intent with the building would be.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can rent it for $50 a day, if they decide like a daily rental fee.
So you,
this was very preliminary,
Right.
and eventually, I mean, what's gonna happen is that our lawyer is gonna need to get involved in the negotiations with them if we start carving things out and doing all this other stuff, and that's gonna get
then you got a problem
expensive,
with
that's gonna get expensive too.
the outhouse.
Well, the DNR is well aware that we have a non-functioning, not doing well, leaking outhouse. They are well aware of that. That was made very aware to him in December.
So we're gonna have to take care of that if we keep the property.
Correct.
I'm just reminding you that it's,
I will make another phone call. We can push it if you want, but I will make another phone call. I will have actually, Mike, Ruby, give him a call and say, where are we at?
Because we gotta replat it anyway. But I'm just saying, it doesn't
Well,
hurt,
we
it
don't,
doesn't hurt to ask.
we don't have to replat.
Well, we
well-
gotta define the road easement. We gotta define the road easement.
If we're keeping it, we don't have to replat.
Right.
And that could be part of the negotiation with the DNR, is they pay for the platting, because we're giving them the land. So that could be part of that, that we have them do that. What? You're whispering under your breath. But anyway, those would be negotiations that we can do.
Well, I'm saying, just ask. I mean, is it possible? If not, then life goes on. So that's, just trying to accommodate
Yep.
our residents.
Okay, no, I can definitely do that. So I guess we will continue this matter, for the February meeting.
Let's ask another question. Does have the DNR taken over the boat ramp and the parking area, does that give you a lot of heartburn or not?
Yes. They won't maintain it. People will park everywhere. There's gonna be, yes, I see it as a problem. I've seen other landings that the DNR manage.
But your issue was you didn't want to maintain the concrete,
Our issue was just the general costs as they increased over the years. We were asked to provide our wish list, which was a broad list, expecting some back and forth, and there really, that list is still there, but that hasn't been addressed in my opinion.
Well, we did address it at the last
Yeah,
meeting where we
we
went
did,
through them item by item, what this board was willing to pay for and what they weren't willing to pay for, so that we could come back and talk with you and negotiate further from that point. So we came back to this board in December and got their parameters, which are listed in the minutes that we just approved. And so with those parameters, Paul and I, our intention was to come back to talk with you guys.
Yep.
We realized that with this new offer from the DNR, that we needed those parameters set. And quite honestly, Paul and I were out of town for a week each.
Oh, we had the storm.
And we had a storm, right, so we had a couple things going on. So, it was definitely our intention, since the December meeting, to come back to you guys, since our parameters were set. Just didn't
The
happen.
advantage of having the DNR is now you become eligible for DNR grants, because they're on your lake.
So we don't get anything from, no, that doesn't have any effect on our grants and our ability to get money for invasive species, that has nothing, there's no,
I'm speaking as a former resident of Eagle Lake. I don't live there anymore, but I was involved with the grants in those days. If you had a boat landing on your lake, you had a higher probability of getting grants, knowing that they don't give them out like they used to.
that's news to me, I did not know that.
Anyway,
Anyway. All right, so what is the board's wishes? I mean, it sounds like we're going back and forth, even if we split it off. Still going, it sounds like we're still going
I
back and
think-
forth.
I think
on
we still need the
opinions.
meeting that they were talking about.
yes,
And
Before
they
that
had-
meeting,
They gave us 2 meeting dates options, and it just didn't work with us, and I explained that to, in an email, and I think we'll get back together, but, you know, I think we just need to get back with.
I agree. My one exception is I think we do want to figure out from DNR, can we split it? Would they be willing to do that? So we have one more data point when they have a meeting with these guys, that we know all the options. Might not be preferred from your guys' end, but at least we know if it's even an option or not.
Well, I will make a call to Tim. They don't move fast.
Shocker.
Shocker, government agency not moving fast. And he did say in that letter that I showed you, oh, there it is, I'm like, where's the letter? That
can you give that, or have a copy, or Shelley copy that for us, she can email it to us, so both the agreement and that response?
what agreement?
Well, the agreement we had with the DNR when they put
Oh, back
in
in
the-
1999?
Yeah,
I think that was in your last packet, but we can ask her to,
yeah.
the packet from December, but we can ask her to put that together. They said that they have a process to follow, which will take some time. So, they're gonna get some forms and start to proceed, so we can, I think that's where the negotiations start. They will, we'll have a conversation. Let them know that as we're having the discussions about the parcel, for the required forms, that we can have a discussion about that at that point right here. Okay? So the consensus is to make a call to the DNR, try to connect back with the Anley people, and go from there.
Right.
All right. Moving forward, the memo on the vet clinic amendment. Full
That's what Commissioner Gregg was talking about.
correct.
All right.
Full transparency, these are my next door neighbors.
Even if they approve the ordinance, it still goes back to the planning commission where they put restrictions on it and restrictions and conditions on it. So changing the ordinance, I don't know if it's a big deal, but when they actually get into the details of where they're gonna put it and what location, that's when the planning commission gets involved.
Right, but do we want to allow large animal veterinary clinics on 5 acres? I think that's the biggest question. It's a very small area, and a lot of animals coming and going. Most places also have their own animals there.
What's the planning and zoning? They gotta administer it, what's their feeling, what's their recommendation?
There's not one, there is no ordinance. So how this came up is that this person bought this property, started running a veterinary clinic on it,
And then they stopped it, okay.
and she didn't, there was no, then she went to file for it 3 years later, went to file for an
Inter-use permit,
IUP.
and then she got.
There was no ordinance.
All right.
So now they're trying to write an ordinance. In the meantime, now working out of a different farm, with 40-acre big farm. I can tell you that 3 years ago, not a big deal. Last year, huge deal. comings and goings and trucks and traffic, no separation, no nothing.
We don't have enough information on the ordinance to even make a recommendation, we don't know what to propose.
Yeah, there are, it's right here. It's in our packet, exactly what they're
Intern use
proposing.
permits, they're intern use permits, all right.
I would say, they're looking at two type of veterinary clinics. One is a 5 acre for companion small animal veterinary clinic, dogs, cats, rabbits, rodents, etc. 5 acres for that type of property, I would think would fit very well on a 5 acre property. It would be a vet clinic building and a couple cars coming and going, no large diesel trucks and trailers and things like that. I think that on a horse operation, equine, large animal, we're talking cattle, horses, everything else.
It sounds like the bigger problem is the trailers that are coming with it. If someone's bringing their dog or their cat,
It's that, and it's also the animals. Not only are trucks and trailers noisy, the animals are noisy. You have
yeah, I'm
6
thinking
horses.
even like blocking the roads, like and the wear and tear on the road.
There would be an issue, yes, on the road. It's actually, yeah, there would be an issue there. There's already been one accident there from trucks and trailers turning into the property. There is separation issues. We don't know, and a smaller one like the dogs and cats and stuff like that, whatever is happening with that dog or cat is contained inside that building, right? Bring the animal in, goes to the little building, goes back in their little thing, goes back in their car. For neighboring properties who have horses on their property, we have these horses out there that we don't know what diseases are there. There's needs to be separation between homeowners' personal animals and vet animals. There needs to be, this says for 10 feet, 10 feet fence lines. But if their animals aren't mixing in with the vet animals, which they do on a 5 acre property, you can't not because there's not enough space given the house, the septic.
Where's the 5 acres? I don't see it in here.
It's my next door neighbor.
Oh, your minimum lot size, 5 acres, okay, here we are.
So I just think that the veterinary recommendations are 35 feet for any pens from any line. So if the neighboring property has horses, there needs to be 35 feet between the neighboring property and any other animals coming onto that property.
So that's really where the planning commission, when they actually get the plat plan, where they gotta meet the setbacks and,
But the ordinance is setting those setbacks.
oh, not, they just said 5 acres.
No, again, keep reading, Brian. It says, if you keep going down onto the next space it is C, setback 10 feet inside property line for fences, D is required setbacks from property lines for all business-related activities, 10 feet inside of property lines.
But you were mentioning other setbacks. Where do those come from?
I'm saying that the setback recommendations for separation of ill horses by the American Association of Veterinary Medicine says that there needs to be 35 feet.
Okay, well, then we have to let the planning and zoning people be aware of that. Here you got veterinary clinic recommendations.
doesn't meet the setback you're proposing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think it'd be appropriate to address it here in the
In the memo, that's what I'm asking, yes.
I do agree with Brian, this is handled as the planning and zoning, but we shouldn't set something that's setting unrealistic expectations. So if it's very hard to get one of these on 5 acres, then why are we setting that as the minimum here?
See, we don't know.
I can tell you right now.
Well,
But I would rather go the other route and set it more, you go bigger and get
Well-
exceptions to that. Because then, to your point, you're handling it, if someone is able to meet those requirements and go out down at 6 acres or 5 acres, then we grant an exception at that point, but
You're,
not,
you're saying, item A2, you're saying maybe 10 acres is appropriate if you meet the veterinary clinic's recommendations.
for sure, I think we need to change the 10 feet. Now, the 5, I don't know if that's enough or not.
Well,
I
for,
truly
for
don't.
small animals it is, I'm talking.
For small animals, for sure. I think small and large is two completely different things.
I think 5 acres for small animals is fine. Again, dogs, cats, bats, rats.
I honestly
things
think
like
you
that.
could do that on 2.5
And you
acres,
need to
but
be a little careful, because you live next door, I mean, so you may have a conflict of interest, and I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But,
But I'm probably the most knowledgeable person about horse
About horses.
practices and veterinary care of horses on this entire room, minus my husband.
well, could we make a comment that we question, item A2, 5 acres seems to be small, we'd rather see at a minimum 10, as long as advised by the American Veterinary Association's recommendations on setbacks?
It's setbacks for equine disease, so.
All right. Well, or, yeah,
Yeah. I think that he can't read it, so he's going up there.
Shelley, can we flip to the next page? Does it have the 10-foot in there?
Yeah, it's on,
6,
there it is, right
BCD.
there.
There we go, thank
There it
you.
is, right there. I will say that, there are, not only about the, there's the manure management plan. I worry about the septic.
You see, planning and zoning takes care of that. They go by the setbacks and wells and all that kind of stuff. In their CUP, that's handled there.
Okay, I don't, but in this ordinance that they are putting here, I do not see anything about, medical waste. Whether it be parts that they're cutting off, whether it be, infected horses that are, medicated and they're urinating.
All right,
and it's
okay,
down
all right, go back. Let's make a list for they're asking for our comments.
Yes, sir.
All right,
And you're the-
we're questioning A2, we would recommend, say 5 acres is too small, we recommend 10, as long as you abide by the setbacks of the American Veterinary Association's recommendation on disease control.
Okay.
You got manure waste, that's gotta be addressed, that's PCA.
I think 6C and D is back to what you were just saying, Brian, is because of the American Veterinary Association or whatever it was, we think C and D should be upped to 35.
Should be reviewed.
Should be reviewed, and we're suggesting, well, at least, we're suggesting they follow the guidelines, I guess. We're not really suggesting 35.
We're not experts in it, but
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
they need to be reviewed.
I take your word for it, Ann, but that's, we say we wanna follow that. And if
Sure,
for
so
whatever reason it got
reviewed
changed,
for the, recommendations for, setbacks for infectious horses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and we make our full setback to that, cause then we don't have to worry about whether they're infected or not. It's simply the whole thing is setback from there.
And then you said the entire, I don't think that setback is necessary.
Just for business purposes.
I don't think that setback is necessary on, the side of the property that's not adjoining another property. So say if it's against the county road, we don't need a 35-foot setback.
Well, I think you just say, review your setbacks, we
Yeah.
think they're questionable.
Okay. And, the other thing, there was nothing that I didn't see anything, was noise abatement.
Well, that's part of the CUP, that's one of the questions.
Yeah, that is one of the main questions.
It is one of them, like, it is something.
Does
Noise,
Noise,
smell.
smell.
Noise and smell. It's-
Okay.
Does it impact in any way your neighbors, the enjoyment of their property?
Okay. All right. And like I said, I would like to leave the 5 acres for the small. I think that's appropriate. Like you said, it could probably be done on even smaller. Do you wanna have that same thought though, that it's?
No, I think we said A2, we questioned 5 acres for the large animals.
Right, but he
But
brought
I'm
up
saying the small.
5 on the small, for A1, he's thinking that 5 might be,
If it meets all the setbacks, we don't care.
That's what I'm saying, do we just drop it to 2.5 though?
Yeah. Huh?
or do we do what you said, make it
Make
bigger
it-
and ask for an exception?
We could, I'm fine with 5, but I think it could even be dropped.
So you see the,
So you wanna
their plan.
review, so you wanna review on 1?
I
or-
think both, I think 2.5 acres is plenty for putting up a building for a small veterinary
You
clinic.
got 5 acres for the small.
I know, that's
So
what I'm
you want
saying,
A1 to be reviewed
I-
for lowering the
correct,
acreage
make it-
required?
or more advantageous for business owners.
Okay. So lowering the acreage required for A1,
Because
For
for most
small
of
animal.
Orrock, that would make us so nobody can do that. I think it's more advantageous if we allow people to do this, and we can say no, to Brian's point, during that process, but I don't wanna make it so people can't do this at all.
and having the small veterinary, the
Yeah.
small animal one.
The 5 is a big lot, at least for Orrock's sake.
Right, okay, and then, because I think they already do some of like the dog trimming, dog grooming things on less than 5.
And I don't think a small vet clinic is any bigger size requirement than that.
Okay. Okay,
Well, the vet clinic in Big Lake, what, acre and a half maybe?
Yeah, same with that one in
Yeah.
Monticello, they're not big.
the small
Yeah.
animal ones.
Right.
Okay, so we'll ask them to review that for lowering the acreage required for a small animal vet
Mm-hmm.
clinic.
And what are your notes for A2?
A2 was to, that the 5 acres is too small, a minimum of 10 acres.
Okay, and
And then 6C,
review the American
Oh, no,
veterinary.
nothing else with A2, because you're reviewing that goes to 6C and 6D, be reviewed for recommended setbacks for infectious horse or other disease specifically,
Okay,
those
all right.
mentioned by
As long as you
the,
got it in there somewhere.
yeah, I did it
Okay.
under
All right.
the,
All right.
under Dalton's recommendation that that section be moved to the
yes.
setback section
Directly to the setback
versus
itself.
the acreage
All right.
section.
All right,
You mentioned about reducing it to allow it to be on a smaller acreage in that, and you use Big Lake as an example, the one, by that being in a business area, does that have a difference to them being in a residential area?
Agreed, and that's why
Absolutely.
I don't think we have to go down all the way to an acre, that's why we're saying 2.5 acres.
I'm just,
No, I get it. But we have other small businesses around Orrock that aren't on big plots.
right, but I just meant with the number of animals.
Sure,
with cats and dogs and that kind of stuff.
but again, back to Brian's point, it's one of the questions on there. If they're expecting 100 people coming through there a day, that's gonna show up on the CUP,
Mhm.
so.
For the, you mean, you're talking about when they
To
actually
Paul's
put it
point,
in,
yeah, is it
for
gonna
the
be?
small animal vet?
Yeah, is it gonna be too much traffic or something? That's a question on the CUP.
Oh, absolutely.
So because I don't think anyone's gonna intend to have 100 people coming through there on a 2.5 acre lot. You won't have a building big enough for that.
No, just depend, I'm not gonna, yeah, you could argue that they start at 7 AM, they go till 7 PM, and they have one every half hour with 2 dogs.
Maybe, but again, it's on the CUP.
Again,
What's your hours of
that's very-
operation? They can only have a
Exactly.
building so big, otherwise it's not gonna fit building permit regulations to build on that property.
On 2.5 acres.
Yeah.
Right,
So I think 2.5 is fine.
okay. Anything else?
You talked about the waste stuff. I think that's already covered in number 7 there.
That's part of your, that'll be part of your CUP.
But I think number 7 on there where it's demonstrating compliance with the wastewater and stuff.
And that
Yes,
includes medical waste,
yeah.
Mhm.
okay? So you saying that the medical waste would be covered by number 7?
I think that's already covered if we wanna make a,
System programs, yeah.
if we wanna make it just a comment about it, but I think it's already covered.
To include medical waste?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else? All right, so I would say here that the proposed ordinance, the town board agreed, changes needed, would be what I checked, with the comments. We don't need a motion on it, but I'm just saying, is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Board business updates. Adams? Oh, sorry, back up, roads. Oh, I always try to skip you, don't I?
9A.
I'm trying to skip, okay.
No,
West
he's just trying to
Eagle-
skip
I'm
Kevin.
trying to skip
Yeah.
Kevin's.
Yeah.
West Eagle Lake project
Super
bids.
fun meetings. So we had our bid opening yesterday afternoon. Shockingly huge number of bidders. We had 10 people that actually bid on the project. You can kind of see the totals there. Knife River was the apparent low. Capital Paving, just to clarify for everyone, that's MPM or the old hard drives. They got bought out, they repackaged, and now they're with a different parent company, I'll call it. But it's the exact same people, same plant, same spot, same everything else. But the apparent low would be Knife River Corporation. They have a sub that would do the dirt work that I'm pretty thrilled about getting the dirt work, so the recommendation here would be accepting the low bid. The alternates, you guys can kind of discuss that piece of things. It doesn't change who the low bid is. Either way, it's Knife River, so if you would like to include paving those roads, that would be included in that 33,000.
Say that last piece again.
Included in the
I'm
what?
sorry.
The 33,000, the alternate, Schedule B, alternate one.
Oh, okay, all right, all right.
That's
okay.
those additional roads that we wanted as an alternate.
Right, that's why we did.
Yep.
We had a long discussion, we're not gonna do
Yeah.
it again. Okay,
That's kind of a no-brainer at that point.
yeah, at that cost.
You're never gonna get it cheaper.
Right,
That's for dang sure. So if you're ever going to do it, now is the time. If you don't do it this time, I sure hope I never get asked in my future career to do it over here, so.
Looks good to me.
It's not good business, I know on my side.
but I know this was your big thing about the extra roads
Well,
being done, and
it's
I just
because
wanna make
yeah,
sure that
I
this.
just believe that when you're in there doing things,
Okay, well, is that okay with you then?
yes,
Okay.
Pete,
that's
okay
a lot
with
lower than I was expecting.
Better to do it now than later when it's gonna cost more.
Yes.
All right, I moved, we award the Knife River, the lowest bidder with alternate one, for a total price of 776,791, some change.
Skip the last two.
I'll second it.
All right, second by Peter, all those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
I'm gonna abstain where I live on the road.
Not bad.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
We'll get her moving.
All right, Taggart right-of-way agreement to be determined.
Okay, pull it up here quick.
You want me to bring it up?
The letter's up there right now.
Oh, there's up there. Okay, good, because I didn't write down the stinking address. Our friend John Taggart here, who lives on 16721, 256th Avenue Northwest, Ann Lake. Me and Shelley, over Christmas and New Year's, received a lot of phone calls from this gentleman. He was very upset with how we were plowing the roads. And of course, you know Ann Lake, there's no place to put snow, there's no place to do anything. The roads are barely wide enough to even put the plow truck down through there. He was very upset that his trailer was getting plowed in all the time. And he's right on the corner of 167th and 256th.
Trailer in his driveway or in the easement?
Well, he claimed it was his driveway, but it's not. it looked like grass to me, but he claims there's gravel there. I'm like, no, it looks like grass to me.
Okay.
Well, anyway, me and Daryl went out and we surveyed the situation and did in fact indeed find the trailer is literally like from here to the wall away from the road right away. So he's in the easement. I had a discussion with him. We sent him a letter to have him get in compliance. And he responded back with a letter to us, getting some clarification on setbacks and stuff like that. So I reached out to him, called him, talked to him, and we've kind of come, I had Daryl, my consultant again, go out and we kind of looked at it again. And the way it's stated now that to be in compliance, he has to be 15 feet back. Well, looking at that, 15 feet would put the trailer in his living room, basically. So we kind of,
Can Daryl live with this?
with the way it is written now, we have come, yes.
Daryl can live with it.
Daryl says yes.
All right.
We are cool with the way it is written on this letter, but I wanted to bring this to the board so that way everybody's aware of it. So that way we can send this to him because he requested that we.
This has been a thorn for 10 years.
And it's gonna be that way because there's no room to put stuff up there. And
If Daryl's happy with it, then I'm for it.
yes, so this is what we've come up, and me and him kind of, you know, he's a nice guy to talk to, and we've kind of come to this agreement. Yeah, he's very nice to me, you know, we kind of went back and forth, I Jewed, he Jewed, you know, but this is what we came up to with an agreement. He says he's cool with this agreement. If we're cool with it, we'll send him this letter, and then, you know, we'll wash our hands of it.
All right, so, okay.
Okay. How long is this letter gonna be implemented?
While he owns the property.
And so if we need to go into Ann Lake, which we're gonna be doing, and that happens to be an area that we're going to be trying to solve some problems, are we gonna be at a problem with this agreement?
I don't think so, I mean.
Is this, just to clarify, is this just for, like, where he needs to store his stuff?
His trailer.
Because I was just looking at the GIS here quick on this property, everything, a good portion of the road on his side of the road there is in prescriptive rights. It's not actually within the right of way, because the road is wider than the right of way, basically throughout all of Ann Lake, or all of this area. So realistically, you're probably not throwing stone much further than that, 4 feet, so that's probably actually where the edge of your ownership would end anyways, but do you know exactly where that is? That's what I'm talking
I just wanted to bring it up because
Good point, Paul.
That's a good point, yes.
All right, let's get this thing on the road up.
or do we, if it's his trailer, I mean, what kind of trailer are we talking about?
We're talking a big gooseneck trailer that he uses.
Like enclosed or RV?
No, it's a flatbed.
Yeah.
It's a flatbed, and he obviously uses this for hauling stuff during the week, and on the weekends, it's stored in the driveway, or in this so-called driveway.
Would you like to add something that we discussed this agreement, allow the following setbacks for parking of your trailer? Would that solve your problem? That solves his problem?
I would like that, or
Yeah, that's a
parking
good
of,
addition.
parking in general, I think I would add some level of comment on that, just because I don't want to lock you into,
That's
this
always
is what
concerned.
we're doing. because our
And you may want to
property
add,
and-
maybe review and rebuild the road. This
That's
agreement
my
may
thing
be-
is,
With improvement.
Okay.
We can't widen there anyways.
Well, yeah, but you never let them know that.
but even if we're not,
At least you warned them, this will be reviewed when we.
but
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Until such
Yeah.
time.
And even if you're not widening it, you might not want it right next to the road when you guys are doing work.
Mhm.
I'm not saying this guy's gonna do that, but technically he could say, no, I have rights to keep this trailer right here and you
So
gotta
as
work around
discussed,
it.
we have agreed to allow the following setbacks for parking of your trailer or other motorized vehicles until such time as
That this road
this
is reviewed.
road is reviewed for
Reconstruction.
reconstruction.
And you wrote this? You wrote this?
We came to an agreement and Shelley typed this out.
So we'll just have to go back for a second agreement for parking of the trailer, and is good until such a time.
Can we add that, can we just make this like a snow thing? Then it won't impact construction at all?
Tell me,
But snow can fall in April too, like we've had snowstorms where it's 20 inches in
Well,
April,
right, but I'm
but
not gonna be doing my road project, right?
I'm just saying,
Or if I am, you're not plowing it, I don't know.
I would just say that until such time that
Until.
the road is, it will be reviewed again once during road reconstruction.
Well,
Yeah, and that's fine too. I guess I'm just.
I got a real problem, not trying to solve it, I hope we can do that. My problem is, this is open dated, one, so it's a trailer. So what happens, anybody else in that area with that road that has a trailer very similar to the problems we had, and I'll put it bluntly, on my road, and I went down and talked to the person, and we sent many letters, or several letters, and the person moved it, he just moved it 4 foot farther over, and it's sitting there, and it never gets off the trailer. I'm just concerned, should we bounce this off our attorney?
I don't think so, because he doesn't have a choice. I mean, if he moves the trailer, it's gonna be in his front living room.
I also don't wanna get in the business of
Well,
telling
he
people
does
that
have
they
a
can and can't
choice.
store on their
Well,
property.
get rid of the trailer.
That's
and
what I'm
No.
trying to
Then he
be.
finds
Well, it
another
needs
spot
the,
to
it needs
park
the
it
ordinance.
that's not on his property.
I mean,
I'm not against it, please, I just,
Yeah.
Paul, I see.
I don't
your-
like these kind of letters that go out there, there's not some kind of,
I see what you're saying. There should be some level of an end date or like at which time this will be reviewed and we agreed upon, something along those lines. I also see an issue with potentially neighbors in the area that 4 feet might work on this guy's property, but it might not work on the next property where the road comes even further into some of these properties, like.
But I think that's why we're not doing an ordinance, we're doing a one-off letter. And that sucks, yes, it opens a can of worms and we might have more of these coming up.
and
That's
you
my
heard
point.
the people here tonight from Manly about the parking.
The only other thing I'd throw in there too is I just make sure that the setback is from the road edge, not the road right away. So then you can park in your street. By a lot.
So you wanna say 7 feet off the road edge on 167, is what you're saying?
167th, actually, that one is well within the right of way.
So the 4 feet off the road
It's
edge,
256, that's actually the
256.
problem.
It's kind of both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just-
And it's doable both that way.
167.
The dimensions are from the edge of the road.
we have agreed to the following setbacks off the edge of the road. Yeah.
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 Okay,
People, you're tying people down the road, hands with this type of thing without checking with our own attorneys. You're making a legal document here.
We're putting an end to it though. When
No,
the road-
you're putting an end to a snow problem, but you could be creating a bigger problem.
Possibly, but there isn't.
So let's spend the money and make
I
sure we
don't-
aren't
I
creating it.
disagree with spending the money on this. I agree with you of putting an end date, and the end date's like Brian's saying, when we evaluate the road. So then there is an end date at some point. Sure, it might be a problem and we have to wait a few more years, but
But I think Pete has gone to a great extent to try to,
Yeah.
to negotiate this. Let's back Pete up, put these two caveats on it and move on.
that and I don't wanna get in the business of always going to the lawyer and spending the money on these.
Any further discussion?
I move the letter with the two changes.
Need a
I'll,
second?
I'll second that.
Second by Dalton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstained? All good. Okay. Now, board business updates, committee reports. Adams,
Concerning the late time, I have nothing to report.
Ellinger,
Same thing.
I'll go with that. Felber Ketterling. Oh, wait, I lied. Welcome, new Orrock resident Caroline, daughter of Dalton Ketterling. Welcome.
Thank
to-
you.
Congratulations, Daddy.
Thank you.
All right, yay. All right, Dalton?
I did my board of estimate, or whatever it was, equalization training.
Yay.
We're done.
Perfect. Owen?
Well, it was a busy month for me. Did the joint council meeting, presented to the joint council meeting, that went really well. I've also presented at SCAT meeting.
Did a nice job.
Very
And I
nice
think-
job.
And I want to say to Madam Clerk that she did a fabulous job with the meal.
Absolutely.
Very good, very delicious. And then one other thing that I did do this past month is I've signed up for alerts from the county for plowing. So now I will get an alert when the counties go out with the plow trucks. So that way I can coordinate with Daryl when would be a good time to go out and plow the roads. So, but other than that, that's it.
Wonderful, thank you. Yes, Madam Clerk did a wonderful with the meal. Thank you to her husband for supporting and bringing and carrying and lifting and bringing all the food in. It was a wonderful meal. Much appreciate all the work that she put into it. I also did approve on the SCAT side, the check to be cut to you today for the meals to be reimbursed to Orrock. From Francine, yeah, for Francine, yeah. Treasurer's business, cash control statement, investment update.
So with the cash control as of December, you see the checking amount is $96,657.83. The debit card amount is $1,930.78, along with the money market, $1,870,847.61. The CD is currently at $266,416.80, along with the 4M fund of $177,227.56. And with that, my CTES and the bank have all balanced. And then with the investment update, I am looking with the additional claims for the Para. I am looking to request a transfer of $189.71 to be transferred to the debit card. And then I'm also looking to request a transfer of $79,690.35. So, is there any questions or anything like that? On the money market or transferring from the money market and the checking account? Is there any questions?
Any
on
questions
that?
or discussion? Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Brian, second by Peter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report approved.
All right, and then the statements and stuff there, it shows you as of what the balances are in each one of the different funds and accounts. Anybody have any questions or anything like that on those?
Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Dalton, second.
Second.
Paul, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Report of December Sherburne Bank Security Pledge, this is just for review.
And with that, you can see we are at an overage Yep, so is there any other questions with the statements and stuff there with the 4M and the bank accounts and stuff that way?
I got a little confused
Okay.
on the balances. The total, 2.2. But yet when we go to the other spot, it's 2.4.
Where are you looking?
That one?
Well, yes, the coverage, you got 2.2 is the, I can't read it there. Let's see.
So it's the market value?
On the balance, it's 2.235, right? It's the total balance right next to the word total.
Yep.
Okay, but then when you go back to, when you go to the accounts and everything, and it talks about the cash flow, it was like 2.4. I'm not sure I'm in the right spot right now. I can check with you. It just looked like that there was,
Something got rounded maybe?
well, that we didn't have it fully covered. Okay. I didn't get here. I got here, but you were busy, and I was gonna ask you ahead of time.
Okay. 2025 year-end budget review.
We can do it next month if you
That would be great.
But speaking of that, I think that the finance committee, I mean, we have a March 10th meeting coming up, so we need to get the levy, the proposed budget, put together, so that it can be brought to the next meeting for the board to approve. So the finance, everybody working on finance, which is most of us, will need to get hopping on this. So when you have the paper, let us know when you have the proposed budget put together for the next one, when you have that ready, and then we'll need to schedule a meeting for that. So that needs to be sooner than later. Everybody agree to that? That we gotta get it done before the next board meeting, so.
And it's very time consuming.
And it is very time consuming. I mean, reading, it's not time consuming, it's time consuming to do it. It's,
finance committee?
Well,
yep,
I mean, it's time consuming for Kelly.
for Kelly, right, for us, it's not that
It's
time
the
consuming,
review,
it's,
yes.
it's more time consuming for Kelly and, but yes, so we'll need to get that together, and so everybody be looking for those meetings and kind of keeping an eye out on when your dates are available for that kind of stuff.
You know, we move
When
into
does
some
that
money.
begin?
Maybe some money.
Into a better, because they did drop them, not in December earlier, but they didn't drop them today.
Rates, no, they stay the same.
Okay.
And there's no indication that they're gonna change in the first quarter at all.
Okay, that's what I was,
So-
That was staying right in the.
Yeah.
It's staying the same,
It was,
it
I
probably
just-
will the next couple of months too.
So to Shelley's question, we have to have that done by our next meeting to be brought in front of the board to approve the budget so that it can be given to the constituents and the electorate at
We need
the
to
annual
do it.
meeting.
At the beginning of
We're going to need to start meeting, yeah. Usually it takes no more than 2 meetings total to get it done, once your budget's put together, to be shared with the finance. Okay. Last call for any other new items. Announcements, February meeting is February 25th. Board of Audit will happen during that meeting as well. Annual meeting is March 10th. It'll be here at the town hall. Matt Spring Courses, she has given us a list for everybody to review if you'd like to go. Board of Adjustment will be April 8th at 6 o'clock here with a newly approved person to be able to do it. Last call, anything else? Hearing none, I make a